What is up, my veggies? My name is VTR, and welcome back to another movie review. And today we are reviewing Lake Placid. Yes. Why am I reviewing Lake Placid? Don't ask me. I really just don't know why I decided to review these movies, especially since I'm still in the middle of reviewing other movies. But I decided to give this one a look, and I had low expectations. If you remember in my 700 subscriber special, we actually reviewed Lake Placid 3 as that, and I'm going to do a whole review on it on its own as when I get to that one. But we talked about that one, but now we're talking about the original from 1999, which this movie is fine. I don't think there's anything that much wrong with it. It's got some decent effects. It is definitely trying to be a comedy and a horror and action flick. It's definitely doing those three things. And it works in some points, and also it doesn't at some points. And a lot of times, it's like kind of like the Jaws feel. They're trying to we don't want to show the thing, but the suspense. But it's also at the Jaws, we're not showing it to you because it looks bad. And yeah, a lot of the practical puppetry and things with this of the thing or whatever look pretty good. But when it is a CGI gator, it looks ridiculous at points. There's one shot of the CGI looking pretty good, but a lot of the time, it's close-ups of the practical and everything trying to, and you do get some good, decent looks at the thing, especially when it gets trapped at the end of the movie. Sorry, spoilers. It's a fine little creature feature. Now, this film franchise is a little odd, though, because the later movies are I think this is the only one that had a theatrical release. I think all the other ones are direct to video. But this one I did have fun with and enjoyed watching. I didn't think it was horrible. I didn't really think it was bad. I had a lot of fun with it. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 47%. Which is probably about what you'd expect from critics. The 37% from audiences, which I kind of probably get why as well. The characters in this that you're supposed to... There's nothing really to... your main girl in this movie... I can't say final girl. I don't know if you really put that kind of thing on this kind of movie, but... she is probably one of the worst characters in the movie until she kind of gets some... You don't really like her. And there's also the sheriff character, which you don't really like him that much either, but he's still fun to watch. Then you got this other dude that works for this animal wildlife reserve or whatever it was. Nothing really like about him. And then you got this other dude who's a crocodile a crocodile hunter type guy. And that's really all he is. He's got a few alright funny lines, but also the dude's really dedicated. There's this scene literally where this chick is don't go do this, this is dumb, I'll have sex with you, just don't do this. And he's I gotta do this, and blah blah blah. And I'm that's such a... I don't know, it felt really weird and forced to me. Like I said, the gator is fine. They do build up the suspense, but also when you see that it is a giant CGI creature, it is very clear that you are looking at a giant CGI creature. Now, I know a lot of people think when people say that, they're crapping all over CGI. That is not what I'm doing. I am not crapping on CGI. CGI, in my opinion, even if it doesn't look like it's there, it can still look good. And this doesn't look awful. Definitely not as bad as the later films look, but it definitely looks a lot more interesting than I was expecting. Not as interesting as I mean. And it's just It just doesn't hit extremely well. And the best part of the movie, though, like actor-wise, is definitely Betty White. May she rest in peace. Betty White is amazing in this. She is funny every time they got her on there. She's like oh, I hope I'm rooting for the gator. I hope he eats all of you. And that I couldn't help but laugh at that. That was funny. And the time they wanted, actually, they do have some genuinely funny comedy in this. There's times where some stuff, it's not like where you feel like some scenes are like buggered down by jokes, because there are some things that are like, oh, like, do we really need a joke there? Like, this is supposed to be serious at this moment. And I think that's something the later films like don't exceed at very well. But also, this movie does do good for building sequels, and sequels this movie does have. But I do have a lot of fun with the Lake Placid franchise, and I don't hate it in the slightest. I think it's a lot of fun. But I would not necessarily say this is a great movie, but I will say it's a fun movie, because I did have fun watching this gator go around. I did have fun just seeing what these characters were capable of. I did have fun just watching the movie. It's just, and some of the gore effects look pretty good. It looks fairly decent. I don't mind what a lot of it. Some stuff is like gotta suspend some disbelief. There are some really good shots of the gator like in the water that are like clearly like the puppet or whatever it is that looks really nice. Like there's one where like the expert guy is in the water and he's like face to face with the gator, and it's like you get to see a whole thing of how big this thing is, and you're like, oh crap. Like those are the kind of shots that make this movie and make them probably the best parts of the movie. And definitely when the gator is being the gator, you're still like and you find out like later in the movie there was two the whole time. I'm not gonna give away what happens to one of them, but like you're like, did we really need there to be two? So at the end of the movie I was like, oh, there's babies and everything. So did we really need to say that there was two gators just to add another scene of tension? Like, that's really something that like just left a bad taste in my mouth. It really just left a pretty bad taste in my mouth, to be honest. But I did enjoy this, and I think I would probably give this movie a solid 3.5 out of 5. I think I had fun with it. I'm sorry. I don't think it's bad. I think it's got bad elements. And, okay, I want to explain something real quick. I may consider myself a critic, but I don't have the 100% of the same critical mindset as some other critics do. I'm more lenient on some things, and this was fun. And even though it does look bad at some points, and I can't necessarily say it's a good movie, but it is an alright movie and a fun movie. Like, I think that this movie knows what it was doing. It wasn't trying to take it super seriously, which is a problem that some of the later ones have, but definitely... Oh, and I gotta applaud, I don't recall there being, like, really any nudity in this. I don't think. So that I'm glad for. Having to watch some other franchises recently that just throw pointless nudity at you, it's very much a breath of fresh air. Being like, okay, so not having to see something like that after all the movies I've had to watch. But what do you guys think of the first Lake Placid? I'd love to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. There are quite a few movies in this franchise, and also there's a crossover with the Anaconda series, which I will look into that as well eventually. Don't expect me to jump into the Anaconda series anytime soon, because I got all these Friday the 13th and Wrong Turn movies to get through, and now I just thrown Tom and Jerry on top of those, and obviously Jurassic Park is something I'm gonna start looking at soon because of the new movie coming out. So and I gotta get through all the other movies that I needed to review anyway, stuff I've seen so far this year. You guys know. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.